guys, Adam here from Get Ahead Financing. Just out doing my daily walk here, trying to get some exercise during this pandemic. Still got my pandemic beard on, wearing a nostalgic alma mater shirt. So anyway, it got me thinking things that I wish I had known in my 20s. So I'm gonna start making a list. I bet it's gonna be pretty long. Okay, pen, paper. Let's start writing down things I wish I knew when I was in my 20s. Let's see how far I get. Let's go check out the list. See, I think my biggest fear is dying with a lot of regrets. So I don't want to be that guy 60, 70, 80 years old, however long I live. Who knows when you're gonna go, by the way, and then have all these regrets that I didn't do. So if you're 20 years old right now, listen up, get a piece of paper, and here's what you should know in your 20s. Also, at the end of this video, guys, I'm going to give you about 5 YouTubers that I follow to inspire me, so stay tuned for that. Also, guys, if you do like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, like it, and subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm. Thanks so much for that. So, do you guys have any regrets so far in your life? Do you wish you had done something that you just never got around to doing? Well, hopefully this video gives you a little bit of encouragement and shows you that you can still do it. There's still time, and there's no better time than today. Obviously, the best time to start something was yesterday. The next best time is today. I think Jim Carrey said it best. He says, you can always fail at something you don't want, so you might as well fail at something you do want to do. Really, really good advice. So with that, let's get into the top 20 reasons or top 20 things I wish I knew in my 20s. Number 1, tax myself more. And with that, have a better budget. So what I mean by that is I usually tax myself with the commissions coming in. I'm a realtor. And then I pay myself a budget. I wish I'd tax myself more. I wish I had more savings. I think that's a universal thing. I think everybody wants to have more money. So I wish I had learned to live within my means a lot more, well below my means actually. So that's a big one. The old, saying that if you take $5,000 a year in your 20s and then stop when you're 30, you won't need to invest any more money until you're 65, at which point you have like $1.8 million. I didn't do that. So I wish I did. Minimum 10% of whatever you're bringing in needs to be set aside and saved. Put it somewhere, high interest savings account, let it sit there and just let it grow, man. It's so easy. Or simply, for some people, it's just 20 bucks a week, 50 bucks a week. See what you can do. Start with 10 bucks. And if 10 bucks is easy, move to 20 bucks, 25 bucks, 30 bucks, 50 bucks, 100 bucks. You never know where you can get to. Just start the habit early. So regret number 1, not taxing myself more. Number 2, document more. I wish I'd started YouTube a long time ago. I think there's so much to be said about holding yourself accountable and watching yourself grow on a platform like YouTube. So definitely wish I'd started this a long time ago. Read more self-help books. I'm not a big reader. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that aren't big readers, but there are books sometimes that make you want to read. So I wish I'd studied more of those books. I'm going to start getting into more of those books as well. I have read a bunch, but I wish I had read more. So if you can, in your 20s, read more books. Quit your job. No, I can't believe quitting your job. I never really had to quit my job. Sorry, mistake. I did quit my job. Actually, it's pretty funny. I was a door-to-door sales guy while in university trying to pay my way. And it was first day. Didn't really know what the job was, but I was basically selling coupon books door to door. And it was commission based, which I liked because the more doors you knocked on, the more sales you got, the more money you make, which is kind of my style, but I just did not like it. So anyway, I just walked off the job that day. It was like, it's not for me, and I literally hitchhiked back to the office. So I did quit my job. So I guess I really didn't need to know that in my 20s, but I did it. So if you hate your job, quit your job. Find something you do like. Ask for help and hold yourself more accountable. So I wish I had held myself a little bit more accountable when it came to things like training, being fit, finances, and anything else that you can hold yourself accountable for. I wish I had worked a little bit harder in university while I was playing volleyball. I think, we could have made something happen special there. So I do regret some of that stuff. Don't be scared to take a swing. Remember, batting 300 gets you into the Hall of Fame. So there's going to be things that people are going to be scared to do, scared to start something, scared to follow through on something. We all have ideas, but ideas are terrible without some execution. So if you do have an idea out there, just get up to bat, take a swing. Don't care what anyone else thinks. Just try it. You're allowed to fail in your 20s. Is a good one. Calm the f down. Life isn't fair. Get used to it. That's kind of 2 for 1 right there. You will be your own worst critic. But that voice isn't you. It's your past experiences. It could be past relationships, could be parents in the back of your head. It could be their fears. So listening to the voice in your head as far as being your own worst critic, it is true. You are going to be your own worst critic. So just kind of take that with a grain of salt. Spend less on things and more on experiences. I think this is a huge one. I wish I had taken more experiences like trips to exotic places or helped people more charity work, that kind of thing. So if you're going to pay to do something, have some experiences rather than things. Things don't really bring you the joys. Don't wait for perfection, make some progress. I love that saying. A lot of times people freeze up, they don't start something because they're worried it's not perfect. Just start to make some progress and things will get better. Learn to cook a few dishes. This one, I've lately cooked a couple of dishes that I really liked. My favorite is a cracked peppercorn shrimp that is just, I love it. All my family make me bring it to all our functions. So anyway, I do think that there's some value in getting a few dishes down. So learn to cook. This is a good one. Excuses are embarrassing, and it's so true. If you are going to do something, make sure you follow through with it. Goal setting more. I wish I had set a little bit more time aside for goal setting. And goal setting in all aspects of my life, whether it's health related, finance related, business related, relationship related, or self-growth related. They all need to be done. So I wish I had set more time aside to set more goals for myself in my 20s. It would have been amazing to see where I got to in my 30s had I spent 10 years setting goals. I wish I'd bought a lot of rentals as soon as possible. If you watch my first video, I'll probably put a video link right there showing you how I bought my first rental. I think I was 34 years old when I bought my first rental. Huge regret that I didn't buy 2 or 3 more or 5 or 10 or however many more in my 20s. It's okay not to know what you want to be. I think that's a big one. I think we all struggle with that in our 20s. I wish I'd known that in my 20s. That just live your life. Journey is the most powerful thing, is just enjoy the ride. You're gonna figure it out one way or another. Don't worry about it. This is a big one. This is like my philosophy on life, is all any one of us get in life is time and energy. We don't know how much time and we don't know how much energy we each have. So it's what you do with that time and energy, with how you live your life and how you'll be judged on how you lived your life. So you have a little bit of time, you have a little bit of energy. What are you gonna do with it? I wish I knew that saying back in my 20s. Another good one that I wrote down here was make decisions based on what your future self would think. So I love this. I always like the idea of looking ahead 5 years, going, what am I going to be like in 5 years, 4 or 5 years? That's a long time. But looking back 4 or 5 years ago, was I doing things that I'm proud of doing now? Did I start a habit then that I'm proud about doing now? Like, a habit, they say, only takes 30 days to do. So maybe it's something like flossing. You just start flossing for 30 days. In 5 years, your teeth are gonna thank you. And then the last one I got here, number 20, is always be forgiving. I think this is a big one here. A lot of times in your 20s, you can hold a lot of grudges, whether you break up with a girlfriend or boyfriend, parents, or relationships that you do have can really steer you the wrong way for a while. So always be forgiving, have an open heart, know that everyone else isn't perfect, and you can move on quicker from some of those broken hearts and backstabbings and those things. So that's it, guys. Those are my 20 things I wish I knew back in my 20s. Now, let me give you the 5 YouTubers I like to watch to get me pumped up. Okay, guys, thanks for sticking around. Here are my 5, I think I have 6 actually, YouTubers that I like to watch to get me inspired and pumped up. So, number 1 is Graham Stephan. He is an American young guy. I don't even think he's 30 yet, but he's a real estate investor slash YouTuber, and he sifts through and gives his honest opinions about things like credit cards and evaluating good deals, going through stuff like scams, like what is a scam, what isn't a scam. I like his research. Anyway, I've started watching him, I think a couple years ago, from really nothing, and he's grown his channel to hundreds of thousands of subscribers, so pretty cool. Number 2, I love watching Gary Vee. If you guys don't know who he is a no-nonsense, a lot of swearing, but really good, honest opinion about stuff. He cuts through all the bullshit and just tells you like it is, and definitely inspiring to watch him. So you've got to check him out. Gary Vaynerchuk is his full name. Evan Carmichael. If you guys don't know about him, he's a huge YouTuber as well. Started years and years ago. I love his story. Also a Canadian, and just came out, started making videos, and his thing is, what is your one word? And you should be able to figure out your one word, what defines you as a person. So he gets me thinking a lot. I listen to his podcasts a lot every morning while I'm on my walk. And if you are curious about my one word, it is at-bats. And it's about getting at-bats. How many at-bats can you get? Because every at-bat is an opportunity to take a swing at something. So really like Evan Carmichael. Check him out on YouTube. Now this is a smaller YouTuber, he just kind of started out here, also Canadian, Daniel Pronk. Really, really cool researcher as far as stocks go. So if you are thinking about getting into the stock market, you got to follow this guy, Daniel Pronk. He goes through a lot of the data for each stock company and evaluates them based on other companies. For example, one of the videos I just watched of his was which airlines to buy right now during this market crash. So really cool, goes through each one, explains the charts really thoroughly. I really like his channel, so go check him out when you can. And then finally, obviously, probably the king of YouTube is Casey Neistat. So if you guys don't know who he is, then I'm shocked. But anyway, unbelievable videographer and storyteller. Really like him quite a bit. So go check out those guys. If you want a little bit more inspiration, those are the topics that I'm kind of researching right now, is people who are in the financial world, which is kind of where I am with this channel. So anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around. Take care and watch lots of videos, especially all of my videos. Okay, see ya.